Assassin's Creed Unity was probably the biggest mess the Assassin's Creed franchise has ever seen up until that point. But now, in 2020, after countless bug fixes and improvements, is AC Unity worth playing? In short, yeah, it 100% is worth your time. Despite its reputation, it honestly is a really good game. And first, let's get this out of the way. How would I make a video on Assassin's Creed Unity without bringing up the bane of the game's release? The bugs. When Unity first came out, it was bashed for having bugs that constantly broke the game, and in some cases, gave people nightmares. I'm here to say that in 2021, it's not that bad. Majority of glitches that I found in my playtime were all incredibly minor things, like a dead body doing headbangs or dancing swords. One particularly annoying incident that happened was early in my playthrough, I kept on teleporting back up to the tower after I jumped, but that's literally the extent of the bugs and glitches. Okay, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Unity, for the most part, is bug-free. A little bit of a side note, I can never seem to find the quit to main menu button, so I just kinda exit the game. I'm not sure if this is a really weird design choice or a bug, but no matter how hard I look, I just can't seem to find it, and it's very annoying. So talking about what could be Unity's worst aspects, I want to talk about one of its best, the parkour. When Arno moves, he does it in the most stylish way possible, and the animations are always fun to look at. This is the perfect parkour for the series, being able to climb anything, but do it in style. Unity has so many ways to go up a building. Want to quickly go up and escape? Use a fast lift. Not in sight? Scale it. But if you want to look stylish while you do it, you 100% can. The game makes you want a parkour to have fun, rather than parkouring to get from A to B. And that is exactly how it should be. Not just a way to get around, but a way to have fun. Unity makes parkouring across rooftops one of the best aspects of the game. Sometimes I find myself doing it just to get the cool animations rather than going somewhere. Unity makes parkour stylish, fun, and efficient. It becomes one of the best aspects of the game. This feels like what Assassin's Creed was wanting to be all along. But unfortunately, with Unity and Syndicate's disaster, AC transformed into something very different. Unity uses a difficulty system that is rated by 5 diamonds. As far as I can see, this just dictates how much health and how fast an enemy attacks. Buying higher level gear will allow you to level up and take on higher level enemies. Different gear pieces will have different stat buffs that might increase your health, range damage, or anything along those lines. I generally do enjoy the system because it means that you can take on an enemy that is maybe 1 to 2 difficulties higher than you, and you still have a chance to survive. It might be hard, but it will force you to use everything you have, and that's how the game is supposed to be. It's manageable while still allowing a good challenge. So in order to buy gear, you have to spend leaves, or however the heck you say it. You tend to get this from enemies, but there's really no use of looting. It takes too long and doesn't give you enough money. By far the best way to get money is by the Café Theater. Excuse me if I don't pronounce these right, I take French but my pronunciation is below average. You renovate the caf in order to get more money from customers. When starting up the game, the cost of weapons seems extremely overwhelming, but after being introduced to it, they feel way too cheap. In like 2 hours of playing, you'll already have enough income to be able to afford the highest level weapon there is, making the progression way too easy to get through. Playing through main story missions will reward you with a number of skill points that can be used to improve Arno in different aspects: stealth, health, and combat. These can give you buffs such as being able to pick locks or just tank more damage. The most game-changing addition to Unity was the co-op system. This was what all the marketing was about, the ability to play a traditionally single-player game with all of your friends. The co-op missions feel challenging and fun enough that you can do them over and over again. It was designed so you can still play them by yourselves. While it is not advised, it is an option if you want to make the game harder or you just don't have any friends. Like me. These missions consist of 2 things, heists and just missions. Heists involve you stealing an object for the assassins. These don't have much narrative strength tied to them, but they do still contribute in some aspects. If you do the stealth perfectly, you get the maximum reward. However, if you slip up and get spotted, your reward will start going down. My problem with this is that it goes down way too fast, so being detected for like 20 seconds will already cost you 1,000 leaves. Getting spotted makes the entire heist not worth doing, because the amount of money you receive is barely enough to warrant 5 to 10 minutes of your time. Missions, however, do carry narrative weight. One might have you defending Napoleon's carriage from royalist snipers, or stopping an execution. These take from 20 to 30 minutes and have you go from place to place doing objectives. There's nothing out of the ordinary in the leveling design, and it has become standard for the AC series now. There's one particularly annoying case where we had to infiltrate the Bastille and retrieve some stuff. But the Bastille is designed so poorly that you can't climb up most of the sides, so moving around is a nightmare, especially when you need this for co-op missions as well as reaching the synchronization point. Unity has, in my opinion, one of the most enjoyable combat systems I've seen in an AC game. Combat is fluid and challenging and allows for some of the most fun gameplay I've seen. One flaw that I do have with this is that there's only 3 weapon types: sword, heavy, and long. There is sadly not a lot of variation between these, and it feels like they're the same weapon with different designs and animations, but nevertheless it does not make the combat any less great than what it is. There are, however, 2 extra melee weapons, but one is a rifle that you use for range, but you also get to smack people with, and the other is a guillotine gun, but that is only available in the Dead Kings DLC. But since it's not part of the base game, I will not be talking about it. The other type of weapon is the ranged weapons. These are pistols and rifles that you can choose from, but to be honest, they play the same, and the rifle will just double as a melee weapon as well. When fighting an enemy, you'll have the option to parry or to roll out of an attack. Timing a parry perfectly will make the enemy knock to the ground and open them up to a counterattack. Rolling allows you to get out of the way and avoid trip attacks. You have a variety of different attacks at your disposal, such as knocking someone to the ground or doing an extra powerful attack that will take a while to use. These will come into fighting different enemies. Different types will be immune to one type of attack while others will be vulnerable by it. This makes you think on your feet about what you need to do in each situation in order to be the most efficient. Gadgets come into effect in combat and outside of it. You'll be able to use things called the Phantom Blades to take out enemies silently, or use smoke bombs to cloud your escape. These mix up combat and make it feel new and fresh every single encounter. I do have a few complaints about the enemies in this game, and one of them is that there just aren't very many. There are standard soldiers, heavies, pikemen, elites, and gunners, and brutes. While this sounds like a lot, they all play mostly the same, but that does not take away my enjoyment of the game. The other complaint that I have is the overpoweredness of the gunners. In order to not take damage, you have to roll at just the right second, which is, as you can tell, is quite hard. They have the ability to two-shot you in such a quick amount of time that it feels unreal. On top of this, there are around 10 in each location, so there is an abundance of these overpowered foes that you can only get to by climbing on the roof. If that doesn't make it hard, if you get shot while climbing, Arno falls off and takes damage. So basically, the only way to get rid of snipers after entering combat is to use ranged weaponry, which is more than annoying. Well then, anyway, that was my review of Assassin's Creed Unity. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I know last week's update was weird, but I will start recording another 100-day series, so do be prepared for that. So, if you enjoyed the video, see you later.